Welcome children. Today I am going to explain about the topic square and square root of class 8. Let me take a glance of this topic. What are the things are there? First, we are going to be see meaning of square. What is mean by square? And then properties of square numbers. Then how to find the square of a number. And then Pythagorean triplets, and then next important topic is square root. What is the meaning of it and properties, and then how to find the square root of the given number. Right? This is the topic covered by the subtopics. Right? The whole topic is covered by these all the subtopics. One by one we will see. First thing, you should know what is the meaning of square. Square is nothing but, if you are taken a square, normal Joe square, if you are taken, you know that all the sides are equal. So if you want to find the area of this square, what you will do, you know that it is side multiply by side, right? So we are writing side multiply by side is area of the square. So square means nothing but a multiplied by a, that is a square. So what is it meaning? That we will see now. Square of a number. So you know that if any number can be written in the form of, when a number, right? So any number can be written in the form of n into n, so that is n squared. Otherwise, simple way I have to explain to you means, it's very simple. When a number multiply by itself or power of 2, that is square. Means if you are taken any number, natural number you take it, or you can take the integers too, right? Any number if you are taking, multiply by the same number. If you take 2, 2 is multiplied by 2 means you will get 4. So this 4 is the square of 2. So we can write 4 in form of 2 power 2. Right? So if you are multiplying 3 by itself, 3 multiplied by 3, you will get 9. That 9 is a square number. So square of 9 is, square of 3 is 9. The same way you can find out for many numbers. Suppose you are taking the negative numbers, 5 minus 5 multiplied by the same number minus 5, you will get, you know that minus into minus is plus, so 5 into 5 is 25. This 25 is a square number. The same way minus 6 into minus 6, that is also 36. Minus 7 into minus 7, that is 49. That is also a square. So we can say this, if you multiply 1 with 1, you will get 1. So 1 is a square number. The same way 4, 9, you can take 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. These are the square numbers, right? So square means nothing but when a number is multiplied by itself, that is square. Otherwise, if you are writing in the power of 2, power of 2 means 2 power 2, that is square of 2. And 3 power 2, that is square of 3. 8 power 2, so square of 8, like that. So next thing is that perfect square. What is mean by perfect square? We know the meaning of square. And what is perfect square? So if the number can be expressed as a product of two equal numbers, like this two equal number, if you are expressing a number, that is a perfect square number. Like 4. 4 can be expressed in form of 2 multiplied by 2. Two equal numbers, we can express it. The same way 64 if you are taken, that can be expressed 8 into 8. So if a number can be expressed as a product of two equal numbers, then we are saying that is a perfect square numbers. So 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 100, and then 121, 225, like these numbers are perfect square number. Why it is? We can express these all number as a product of two equal numbers. For example, I am saying 24. This 24 is a perfect square number. We can express 24 multiplication of two equal number. No, we could not. So 24 is not a perfect square number. So how we can check whether the given number is, if it is a smaller number, we can say that it is not a perfect square number or it is a perfect square number. But if any bigger number is given to us, how we can verify or how we can check whether the given number is a square number or not, otherwise perfect square number or not. So here we are using the prime factorization method. You know that what is prime factorization method? That is, we are going to divide the given number by the prime numbers only, right? So if you use only prime number for the division, then that is prime factorization. Suppose I had taken 144. I am using only the prime numbers, right? So if you are dividing by 2, you will get 72. Again, if you divide by 2, 36, 18, 9, 3, 1. Like that, if I divide it, I will get like this. You see, are you getting the correct pair, exact pair or not? Pair means you know that two numbers, right? You have to get two number as the pair. See, 2 multiplied by 2. This is one pair. You know, this is another pair. Here you see, this is third pair. So exactly we are getting the pair of numbers. But for example, I am taking the another number. If you get like this, then the given number is a perfect square number. Suppose I am taking the another number, 128. If I am dividing by 2, prime numbers only I have to take it. So smallest prime number is 2. So 2, I am dividing it, 64 I am getting. Again 64, if I divide by 2, 32. 32 divided by 2, 16. So 8, 4, 2, 1. Here you check whether you are getting the exact pair or not. This is one pair. This is second pair. And this is third one. For the fourth pair, we need one more 2. But it is not having. So if you are not getting like this exact pair, then the given number is not a perfect square number. I hope this you understood. This concept you are clear with this. Suppose if you are given, for smaller number I can explain it again. No? If you take 36, you know that it is a perfect square number. You can write it 36 as 6 multiplied by 6. Suppose 32. You could not write 32 as a multiplication of two equal numbers. We can write product of two numbers, but it is not a equal number. It is a different number. So 36 can be written as 6 into 6, but 32 we could not write it. 32 we will write 2 power 5. Right? So 2 power 5 means it is not the exact pair. This is 1 and 2 and 1, 2 not having the pair. So this is not the perfect square number. I hope what is mean by perfect square that you clear about. We can verify it by prime factorization method also. Now our next concept is that now you know what is the meaning of square, and then what is the meaning of perfect square number, and how to identify what is the given number is a perfect square number or not. That you know that, right? First part we completed. Meaning of square and what is perfect square number and how to find out the given number is a square number or not. That you know. Now we are coming to the next one, properties of square number. So how we can, what are the properties of square number? Suppose you have the even square, right? Even number of square, even number you are taken, for that you are squaring it, means you will get even number only. How? For example, 2 is a even number, right? Smaller number also. 2 square, what you will get? 4. 4 is a even number. The same way, if you take another even number, no, to verify it, bigger even number you can take it. 12. 12 is a even number. 12 square. 12 square is what? 144. 144 is a even number. So whenever you are doing even number square, you will get the result also the even number. That is, square number is also a even number. This is one of the property. And then second property is that odd square. Odd square means if you take the odd number, 3 square, what you will get? 3 squared is 9. 9 is odd number. The same way, if you take any other odd number, 13 squared, you take it. 13 squared is 169. That is also an odd number. So whenever you are squaring an odd number, the result is also a odd number. So First concept is that when you are squaring a even number, the square number is also a even number. When you are squaring a odd number, the result square is also a odd number. Right. Now we are coming to the next point, that is negative numbers. If we are taken, what happens? Minus 5 the whole square. We will get positive number only, because we know that minus into minus is plus. So whenever you are taking negative of square, you will get positive. This concept we learn in class 7th, integers also. If you take positive numbers, negative numbers, square is means power is even, means you will get answer in positive. If the power is odd number, then you are getting negative number. Right, the same concept only here also. Right, minus 5 the whole square, that is negative number. You can take any other number. If you take square of that number, you will get answer as positive. So the property 1 is that whenever we are squaring the even number, you will get the square also even. Squaring a odd number means square also odd number. The result square number is also a odd number. And when you are squaring a negative integer, you will get answer as positive. Now the same type of question is there in exercise 6.1. Right, find the square of which of the following would be odd number. Right, that is the question number 3 in 6.1. Now we can solve this question using this property also. Before that, we will see this property also, so that it is easy for you to solve the complete question. Perfect square never ends with digits 2, 3, 7 and 8. Means if it is a perfect square number, that unit digit will not end with these numbers. So 2, 3, 7, 8. Suppose number is end with unit number is having 2, 3, 7, 8 means, then it is not a perfect square number. But one more case is also there. Suppose the number ends with 4. It can be a square number, it cannot be a square number. Means maybe. Sometime it can comes as a square number. For example, 64. The number ends with 4. It can be a square number. But the same thing, 124. That is not a square number. So the number ends with 4 also we can say sometimes it can be a square number, sometimes it cannot be. That we can identify with the prime factorization. Right. But these number 2, 3, 7, 8 confirmly we can say it is not a perfect square number. See in question 2 of exercise 6.1. In exercise 6.1, if you see together we can solve the exercise also. It's very simple for you. The following numbers are obviously not perfect squares. Give reason why it is not a perfect square number. For that we have to give the reason. Just now we saw the property that if the number ends with 2, 3, 7, 8, it's not a perfect square number. By that property we can say, see 1057. The number ending number is 7. So unit place 7 means it is not a perfect square number. Then you see 3. So 3 is also a not a perfect square number. Here it ends with 8. So it is not a perfect square number as per the property. Here it is ending with 2. So here you see odd number of zeros. Suppose the number ends with odd number of zeros is also not a perfect square number. That is the next property. So by that property we can say this is not a perfect square number. Here again 2. Here odd number of 0. Again 1 odd number of 0. So it is not a perfect square number. So with a given property and using the exercise sums we can solve. See, first property is that if it is even square, even, odd means odd, and negative numbers means you will get positive. And here perfect square never ends with the digit 2, 3, 7 and 8. As per that we solve the question number 2. Right? The following numbers are obviously not a perfect square number. Give reason for that. The number are ending with 2, 3, 7, 8. As well as fifth property is that perfect square never ends with odd number of zeros. Odd number of zeros means what? Suppose 1. Last unit place may 1 or 3 zeros or 5 zeros, like that, odd number of zeros ends mean, then it is not a perfect square number. As per that, we solve the question number 2. Now 5 properties we have seen, and now question number 3 also we can solve in this one. Question number 3 is what? The squares of which of the following would be odd number? Our second property is what? Odd number square will end with odd. So you know that what is the odd number, what is the even number. Easily you can identify. 431 is an odd number. So this square will end with odd. And 2826 is an even number. So it ends with even. Square is even. And here you see 7779. So it is odd number. So square will be odd. And here 82,004. It's a even number. So square will be even. That's all. So using the property 1 to 5, we solve the question number 2 and 3. Now you can ask that how we solve the question number 1. So what will be the unit digit of the square numbers? Squares of the following number. Unit digit means what? This number, right? What will be the square of this numbers? That we are going to see now. So here you see, in that number has unit digit they ask. So first one we will see square of all the numbers. 1 squared is 1. And 2 squared means it is 4, 3 squared is 9, like that till 10 squared I wrote it here. 1 squared, unit digit is what? 1. 9 squared, what is the value? 81. So 1 ending with 1. The same way 2 squared is 4 and 8 squared is 64. So it is ending with 4. The same way 3 squared and 7 squared ending with 9. And 4 squared and 6 squared ending with 6, right? 5 squared always end with 5 only, and 10 squared means 0, so ending in 0. So using this combination of number we can easily solve. So whichever the unit place is 1, the given number unit place is 1 means the square will end with 1 only. Suppose the unit place is 2 or 8. Square number unit places, the given number is unit places 2 or 8 means it will end with 4. The given number unit places 3 or 7 means it will end with 9. The given number unit places 4 or 6 means it will be end with 6. So if unit place 5 means square will be end with 5, and 0 means it will end with 2 zeros. Right children, I hope this concept you are clear. So you have to check. Now we can solve the question number 1. It's easy for you to understand now. Now we have seen if the unit place have the number 1 or 9 means their square number end with 1. Right? Question number 1 you see 81. Unit place is 1. So square of this number end with 1. Now you see unit place is 2. Unit place is 2 means which number will come? Unit place is 2. So the square will be end with 4, like that. Square end with 4. Now you see the unit place 9. Unit place 9 means the square of that number end with 1. And if it is 3, unit place 3 means the square will be end with 9. And unit place is 4 for you. So unit place 4 means the square of that number end with 6. And if you see 7, unit place 7, 7 means it will be end with 9. So like that, rest of the question you can solve. If it is 8, if unit place 8 means square will be end with 4. And 0, if it is a single 0, then it will end with 2 zeros. And 6, 6 means it will end with 6. And 5, 5 means end with 5 only. Like that, you can see the unit place and we can say the square of number end with which number. Unit place will be what? That we can easily identify by the given number unit place. Right? Now we solve question number 1, 2 and 3 of the first exercise, and we have seen the 3 properties also. Sorry, literally 5 properties we have seen. Now we are going to see the next property, that is a perfect square always leaves the remainder 0 or 1 when it divides by 3. If it is a perfect square number, when we are dividing by 3 that square number, we will get the remainder as 0 or 1. We can verify it. 81, you know that it is a perfect square number because 9 squared is 81. If you are dividing that 81 by 3, so 2 3s are 6 and remainder will be 2. Again this 1 come down, 21. So 7 3s are 21. Exactly it is divided, we are getting the remainder as 0. So this first one clear. Now second part, it will leave remainder 1. So I am taking the another even number, I am taking even perfect square number, that is 64. If you are taken 64, this 64 when you divide it by 3, 2 3s are 6 and this 4 comes down, 1 3s are 3 and remainder will be 1. So exactly we are getting the remainder 1. You can verify with other numbers too, but you have to take perfect square number. Perfect square number exactly divide by 3 means you will get the remainder as 0 or 1. And move to the next property. The sum of first n odd numbers is n squared. What is mean by sum of first n odd number? N means what? N means any number you can take it. Whenever you are finding the sum of first n odd number, here we are saying you have to take the odd numbers only. So you know that 1 is odd number, 1, 3, 5, 7 like that odd number. So when you are finding the sum, you will get always it is n squared, means how many number you are taken, that square will give the sum value. That is, here I taken 1 plus 3. So 2 number only I have taken. If it is 2 number, 2 square is what? 4. Right? And suppose another example. You don't see this one. You just see the number. You want to just add 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. This is sum of first n odd number, right? I had taken till 9. So you instead of adding this one, directly we can write the answer. How many numbers you have taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 odd number. So 5 squared. 5 squared is 25. For example, one more sum I will give. We can solve the exercise sum also. It will be easy. But the number always start with 1. You have to take the odd number, always start with 1 onwards. In between if you start, you will not get the exact solution. Like if you start with 5 plus 7 plus like that, means you will not get the exact solution. Always it should start from 1 plus 3 plus like that. 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus like that. Here 4 numbers are there. 4 number means 4 square, that is equals to 16. You can add randomly like this, Lehman way. You can add it and we can find the solution also. See, 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. You are getting. So both the way you will get the same answer. So this is one of the property. Using this property, we can solve the question number 7 and 8 of your textbook. Question number 7. Question is what? Without adding, find the sum. We don't want to add 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 5 is 7. Like that we don't want to add. When we saw the question, immediately we have to give the answer without adding. So you just count the number. How many numbers are there? 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers are there. 5 number means what is the value of 5 squared? That is equals to 25. That is the answer for this. The same way you can find out. If it is a simple number, 5 number, easily you can say. Here you see how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 10 means, yeah, it's correct. 10 squared. that is equals to 100. Again, third one you can solve it. I think so. Here 10, 11 and 12. So it is 12 squared, that is equals to 144. Right? And here this question is little different, that is express 49 as the sum of 7 numbers, 7 odd numbers. Here they asked reversely. Instead of like this adding and finding the answer, they gave the answer directly. Using that we have to write it. Sum of 7 odd numbers. It's very simple. 49 for us. Right? The question is we have to express 49 as the sum of 7 odd number. So now 49 we can write it sum of 7 odd number. We have to start with 1. 7 numbers you have to take it. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11. See 3, 6 plus 13. Now you see 1 plus 3 plus 5. It is 5, 8, 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 9 is 23. 23 plus 11 is 30, 23, 34. 34 plus 13 is 49. Right? So you will get 11 plus 13. 24. 24 plus 9 is sorry 24 plus 9 is 33. 40, 43, 45 plus 3, 48 plus 1, 49. So now we expressed a sum of 7 odd numbers. The same way you can express 121 also. 121 means it is a square of 11. So you have to write 11 odd numbers. So 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13 and then 15 plus 17 plus 19 plus 21. 11 numbers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 squared is 121. If you add this number, you will get 120. Right? So now we solved the question number 7 and 8 also. Now we can move to the next property. Right, children? So I hope this point is clear for you. So we can express the sum of first n odd number as n squared. And next property. Right. Come to the next property. How many square numbers are lie between the square of two consecutive numbers? That we can easily identify. Between n squared and n plus 1 squared, there are two n non-perfect square numbers are there. Here, don't confuse with this n and non-perfect square number, these all. It's very simple. We can easily find out. You know that consecutive means next number. Consecutive square, how many numbers are there? That is, it is not a square number, it is non-square number, right? For example, here I have taken 5 squared and 6 squared. We have to just find out in between 5 squared and 6 squared how many numbers are there. You know that 5 squared is 25 and 6 squared is 36. So, like a normal way we can solve it. No? 25 is the 5 square value. After 25, 26, 27, 28. So, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 and then 36. Right? So, how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Instead of doing this way, Lehmann's way, we can easily find out. We can use the trick and find out easily. How? You see just what is the given square number. In that, which is the least one, you have to check it. Least one means 5 is the lesser way, least number. In that least number, multiply by 2, you will get the non-perfect square number. That is 2 multiplied by 5, you will get 10. Here also we got 10 non-square number. Directly we can find out. Now you see Another example. Suppose it is 13 squared and 14 squared. 13 squared and 14 squared. In between, how many square numbers are there? How many non-perfect square numbers are there? That we have to find out. Here least number is 13. So 2 multiplied by 13, that is equals to 26. So in between 13 squared is 169. 14 squared is 196. So in between 169 and 196, we have 26 non-perfect square numbers are there. That is, numbers are there. Right? I hope this point is also you are clear with that. Now, come to the next one, important one, Pythagorean triplet. What is mean by Pythagorean triplet? It's very simple. If you have 3 numbers which satisfies the Pythagoras theorem, then it is called Pythagorean triplet. First, you should remember your 7th standard Pythagoras theorem. What is mean by Pythagoras theorem, that you should remember. Pythagoras theorem is nothing but, again I will explain you. If you have a right angle triangle means which makes 90 degree, that is right angle triangle. So in the right angle triangle, we have 3 sides are there in the triangle. The longest side is hypotenuse, and which is the standing one, makes 90 degree, that is perpendicular, and the base. What Pythagoras theorem says, hypotenuse square, that is longest side square, that is equals to sum of squares of other 2 sides. That is, sum of means perpendicular square plus base square, that is equals to hypotenuse square. So if you have 3 numbers, suppose here that 3 numbers, for general I had taken 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1, or the Pythagorean triplet, where this m is a natural number. Natural number means it starts from 1. So 1, 2, 3, like that number, positive numbers only. Right? So if you have the positive number, we can say that given number is a Pythagorean triplet or not, which satisfies this condition. For example, I had taken 3 consecutive numbers. 3 numbers I have taken, 3, 4, 5. Now we can verify it whether these numbers are Pythagorean triplet number or not. How? We know that hypotenuse square, that is longest side. Longest side means which is the greatest value, that square is equals to other 2 number square. Sum of other 2 number square. So here bigger number is 5. So 5 square is equals to 3 square plus 4 square. 5 square is 25. 3 square is 9. And 4 square is 16. So 25 is equal